welcome back to the Corporate Burnouts. Hey, Mandy, how are ya?
Doing so good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Do you get tired of me saying how are ya?
No, I actually love when people ask how I am, especially when I'm doing good, so I can say I'm doing
Right?
good.
Instead of
Otherwise,
saying,
it's awkward because you're like, it sucks here.
yeah, I'm fine. Please don't ask me anymore about that.
Yeah, no, I am sure that you're sick of it saying the same thing every time that we open, but
I was just like going through the motions and I was like, how are ya? I think it's funny.
mhm.
Anyways, so how was your weekend? You
It
all
was
rested up
good.
and refreshed?
Yes, I had a lot of downtime this weekend and it was lovely. My mom came for one night. Dan went out of town to go four-wheeling with a whole bunch of guys, and I have been looking forward to it because I love alone time and to do watch exactly what I want to watch and do exactly what I want to do without feeling bad that somebody might want to do something else. And and so it was just me and Brody this weekend, and then my mom decided to come for a night, and so we had dinner and hung out,
I
and
love your mom. She's the best.
she's a good one. And then I went to my nephew's soccer game, went and saw my mother-in-law in the hospital, and I made a blanket this weekend. You see it?
I know. I love it. It
It's
looks
a
warm
big
and
accomplishment.
snuggly.
It is. It's a good one. That's my wintertime hobby because it's so relaxing to have like the soft because it's like the big yarn,
The
and
chunky.
yep, and you just like kind of feed it all in and it's just a really relaxing hobby. So
Mindless
I love it.
something to keep your hands busy. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, my weekend was a little bit similar, a little low key. Paisley has a musical this upcoming weekend, and show week is always chaotic to say the very least, and usually involves a few meltdowns. So I spent the weekend, got everybody's laundry done. I was like, what can I do to eliminate the freak out? And making sure that everything is clean, neat, organized, good to go. Made sure that there's like grab and go snacks and food in the house so that when she gets home from school, she can grab what she needs and get back out of there. Like trying to be proactive, maybe for the first time ever. It's fine
No,
that
you
this
did
is
good.
probably her 35th musical, but we're figuring it out.
Yeah, you're learning. You're growing.
Yeah.
You're
So
avoiding meltdowns.
got some good stuff accomplished there. Chase was in town. We got some projects done. It was a really productive weekend, but really like low key too. So it was good. I'm feeling like I can attack this week.
I love that. I love that. Tell them about what made you Google yourself this weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when you have such a low key weekend that you Google yourself for funsies, sometimes you can be really surprised by the things that you find. I, however, was not like Mandy is a pretty common name, but I don't know that Holt is super common, but it's not super unique either. So there's not a whole lot there. But I will say that a few years ago, the girls, I can't remember, they probably both did it because, same classes year after year. They had a project, and in the middle of a day, one day, I just started getting random texts of pictures of myself from my kids. And I'm like, where did you find, like, I know that I was in this picture. Like, this is not a picture that I didn't know about, but why do you have it? And why are you sending it to me? And Paisley sent me one, and it was from a women's leadership conference that we did. It was like a headshot, and she was like, "Look how fat you were here." I'm like, "I hate you right now," but
Yeah.
also, okay, fine, rude. But anyways, yeah. So I was like, "What's going on?" Well, they were doing this project, and it was all about your digital footprint. And they had to Google themselves in class to figure out what would show up online, and really just learning about internet safety and all the things. But as you can imagine, they didn't really find anything on themselves because they're children. So they all got excited and started Googling their parents, trying to dig up dirt. I'm like, thank God I don't have like a mugshot out there that was going to come up, like
You would
pulling
have
up
told them if
records I
they'd
don't
gotten
want you to
arrested
see.
anyway. Yeah. That would not, you don't have
They would
secrets.
already know.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, if this is the worst you got, like, okay. I did find it funny too, though. Easily sent me a phone number and she was like, is this familiar to you? And I was like, that was my phone number in like second grade. That was like our landline phone number. How did you find that? And why is my name associated with it? Because I was in like second grade.
Yeah.
But somehow in some directory somewhere that was attached. So I found that really, really interesting. It's kind of scary the information that you can find on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And when I
I
think
agree.
what I want people to know about me, what I would want them to learn about me. Like, thank God there's nothing big, dark, and scary out there to find, but it would be so smart if we were more strategic about placing those things that we want people to see on Google versus just
I can
cringing.
completely agree with that. So I did not really have a digital footprint at all
Hmm.
until I started this. Obviously, there were things from Roadhouse that had been
Yeah.
posted about me throughout time, or I'm trying to think of some other things that happened before I started my business, but there just wasn't really anything there. I was kind of a ghost because, yes, I was on social media, but I didn't really post about myself.
Yeah.
And that kind of probably hindered me a little bit when I started my business. But now, when you Google me, there's a lot more stuff than when you Google you, because I actually built my brand to start this
Yeah.
business, and then I aligned it with a business, and I aligned it with nonprofits, and I aligned it, with all of the people who I've worked with throughout the years.
Yeah.
And
Very intentional with it.
yes, yeah,
Whereas I have not been so.
right. And so I just think that it's interesting, and that's why we wanted to talk about this today, is that if you are thinking of starting your own business, you'll definitely need this. If you're thinking about leaving corporate in the next year or the job that you're at, wouldn't it be great if they Googled you, that they found something and they found something that aligns with who you actually are?
Yeah. Positive. That's going to work in their favor.
Hmm.
I I wish that I'd had the like forethought to do that at the time, to really be strategic about it, going, leaving corporate and coming out. But I think this is twofold, right? Like, there is your digital presence that you should be concerned about, but then there's also just like your reputation, right? Like, what does your personal brand really look like? And if you are sitting in that spot where you're thinking, I might be hitting burnout, or I'm ready for the next adventure that I'm not going to get here, whatever it looks like,
Hmm.
in potentially leaving what you're currently doing. If you're not quite ready to take that leap, you don't know what you're leaping for, or really what that looks like, if you're at the beginning stages, it would be so powerful for you to really take stock of, what do I want to be known for, right? What do I want people to remember about me? What do I want that next step to look like, in the way of, like, who do I want to help? Who do I want to impact? What sort of initiatives or values do I want to align myself with? And then just start making little changes that will align you with that, so that by the time you're ready and you're like, I know where I want to go, I know what I want to do, and now I've got 6 months to a year's worth of history, whether it's online or just in my reputation at work,
Yeah, in
that's
your
going to back
community.
up who I
Hmm.
say that I am on my next resume.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And it's something that I kind of regret too. I mean, we saw people in at Roadhouse who were always posting everything that we did on social media. And that was the social stuff, right? So that's
Yeah.
more of like, look at what me and my friends
Yeah, it
are
was so
doing.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's great. That's not super aligning you with a potential job, but imagine if we had been posting about the women's leadership that we helped put on. We did a
Yeah.
lot of work for that. It's impressive what, and we didn't do it by ourselves. We had a
Right.
whole big team who did it, but we were involved in the whole thing. So that is experience that we could bring to somebody. And if we had shown and reels weren't as,
Yeah.
prevalent then, but if we had shown a behind the scenes, like, this is everything that it took to get here, that is showing a lot of what you can do,
It
and
tells a
showing,
story.
yeah, it tells a story. It shows your personality, and how you work with a team, and
And that
and
you're
the whole
proud of
thing.
it. The fact that you took the time and effort to put it out there, like, I think that speaks volumes. I will say that we worked with people who did that, and I always really saw that as very performative. Like, okay, we know you did that, like, that's your job. But I was also looking at it through a really cynical, critical lens of it, going, like, we know, but the whole world doesn't know. the potential next employer that you have, they don't know, and now they can scroll back and see how passionate you were about it, all the different varied skills that you had to have done that, and the accolades that come from it, and just all of the things, right? Like it really does tell a story that we could already see from the inside, and that made it kind of cringy to look at posts like that. But so smart. And I love conversations like this where in retrospect I can look back at the people that I rolled my eyes at and go,
They
yeah,
were
who's the
doing it.
idiot? Yeah,
Yeah.
who's the idiot? It's
And
me.
I think that again, like you said, there was a cynical eye about it for a couple of reasons. One, neither of us have ever been the look at me on social media person. I've had to be a lot more that with my business page. I still am not really that. I mean, it took me like 7 months to post my wedding pictures on my Facebook,
Just on
like,
your own personal
yeah,
page. Yeah.
it feels braggy to me. I don't see it as braggy with other people. It just feels insincere with me. And so neither of us have ever been that person who shares our entire life. To people who do that and they put themselves completely out there, then it's normal. It's like, this is my life. This is what I'm doing
Yeah.
today or this
Like, I'm not
week.
bragging. It's just literally what I got to do.
Yeah. I also was very careful, even if I had wanted to. Like, I really didn't love what it looked like because my ex would always be like, "Where's the party this week?" Because we did a lot of fun vacations and drinking half the day and entertaining people, you know? And so I
Because
was
that was
like,
part of our job, putting
it
on that good
was.
time for other people, but you get to participate in it.
Yeah, yeah. So, and that was so fun. But to me, it felt very much like shoving it in people's faces that they're working at the office all day and we are out drinking at 1 o'clock on a Tuesday. And I don't know. So I think some of that felt a little bit like, I don't want to share this now. That also isn't on brand for me to just be drunk at 3 p.m.
Drinking
on
at
a
1 o'clock
Tuesday.
on a Tuesday. Yeah.
No, I probably have like 2 drinks a week at this point if I even drink. But I think that there are parts of it that would have been really worthwhile to share, if only on LinkedIn, right? And I think that it would have positioned me as an expert to the people who I was trying to sell myself to. There was no past of me doing this. They just believed that I worked for this company and that I did marketing for this company. If I had been able to show past work in a way besides being like, I did that page and those other 30 pages, you can look at those. If I had been showing what I was worth on my socials or in any other sort of way, I think that it could have helped me build my business faster. And I do have small regrets about that, not now, but
Yeah, it slowed the progress down a little bit because you had
yeah.
to be intentional after the fact instead of setting yourself up. So I totally get it. But I think it's important to think about like and I'll just challenge anybody listening right now, like pause right now and go Google yourself. You might be surprised by what you find, whether it's, outdated profiles or like, I don't know, does your MySpace still show up? Like
What is that called?
MySpace? Weird. Anyway, like you never know. Random photos that you've been tagged in that you might be like, ugh, remove that one. Just do a little bit of digging and see what you find because I think that we should all, at the very least, know. Just do a quick audit of
And
what's out there.
you might find that you don't have very much of a presence on Google because like I
Yeah.
said, that's kind of what I ran into. And now it's time to get yourself one and make sure that it aligns completely with what you want to put out there in front of people. What does that personal brand look like? And a personal brand, when people say brand, people think about logos and things like
Yeah.
that. And a
But
personal
it's more than
brand,
just your tagline, right?
yes, yeah. And a personal brand is your identity and what you project out, and it is what you do for a living somewhat. It is what you do in your free time. It is your network and who you work with and how much you give. And there's a lot of things that go into it. So what is it? What is that? And ChatGPT or whatever AI search that you use can help you with that. Say, I want to build my personal brand. Here are the things, you
that
know.
matter to me. Yeah. I think a couple of core questions that we should really be asking ourselves to determine, how to structure that personal brand. The first one is like, what do I want to be known for? Because that's something that's going to show up not just online, but in your everyday interactions with those people that you currently work with, who, oh, by the way, will still exist in the world when you leave this company. And it's to your benefit to keep that relationship good. Next, I think who you want to serve, help. If you're one of those people that spends time supporting nonprofits, whether it's, nonprofit 5Ks on the weekend or whatever that looks like for you, to really see where you need to place your alignment, right? Do you need to showcase that you do a lot of these things? Will that set you up for success in the future? And then what makes you different from everybody else? Like, how are you the most memorable? And lean into that aspect of things, because I think that authenticity and your unique self is like, sometimes that is what sets you apart. You can have the exact same credentials as somebody else for a job, but you've just got that spark, that's something. And if you can identify what that looks like for you and lean into that, that can be the thing that tips you over the edge for your next opportunity.
And all of these things, putting them out there, finds you a better fit. There are so many people I could find who would let us do their social media. But what's different about us is that we meet you where you're at when it comes to your social media. We're not the social media team who's going to come in and be like, you're doing it this way and this is what sells, right?
Mm-hmm.
It will be more like, what do you feel comfortable doing? What is your brand? We will figure out how to get you out there and get your video in front of as many people as makes sense without making you dance, because that does not make you feel comfortable. And truthfully, for businesses, I don't think that dancing in general is the biggest thing
It's
that
not a
that
great
helps.
strategy, but
But sometimes, for our clients that are trying to project that fun as their brand, then yeah, you got to dance sometimes. And if that's not your brand, then it's not. But that's what sets us aside, is that we are approachable and we're not going to try and project something else on you, right? Now, that is something that isn't, some people don't need any of that, and they're not going to be as attracted to us, but it will attract that kind of client
the
who's like,
right people
I
for
need to
us.
ramp up. I need you to start pushing me, but I can't start at 100. I need to start at 5, and then we'll
Yeah.
we'll work our way up. So,
Yeah, and I really liked this part of the conversation specifically because, that uniqueness, that thing that sets you apart, the spark that you bring, I think it's really important to clarify that this is, if you're going to start being intentional about putting things out on social media that you want to be known for, known by, it's not about being performative or just getting something out there. The authenticity and the passion for what it is that you're doing, all of that has to show through. And so you either better be really good at faking it and making it look really genuine and sincere, or only post the things that are. Put the things out there that actually matter to you so that you are attracting the right fit versus just being really proud of what you have out there.
and I think that a lot of people will probably go, I don't feel really comfortable with this. It feels braggy. It feels performative. And I think that the answer is figure out the best way. We call it a humble brag, where you are more like, I did this awesome thing, but I'm going to thank these people for letting me help
Yeah. I
instead.
got to have this experience because of
Yes.
these people. Or instead of being like, look at me, I'm on a boat with the beer at 1 p.m., it's like,
Hmm.
look at these incredible people that I'm surrounded by. And I have the opportunity to share these moments in celebration because of X, Y, and Z and these
Hmm.
accomplishments. It's all
Yeah.
about how you frame it.
It's an honor to reward them for all of their
Yes.
hard work, right?
Yeah, and you're
Hmm.
putting the focus where it should be, because the focus really shouldn't be about the beer in your hand at 1 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Hmm.
But it gets to the heart of what you're doing and why you're doing it. And if you're able to build a story and really tell a story about why you do what you do through pictures and experiences like that without it literally being a story, that's attractive. That's attractive for the next company, or maybe you're starting your own business and you're going to need to attract clients. Like what do you want them to be attracted to? What do
Yeah.
the next company might look at this and go, wow, this person really understands hospitality and they get, the culture vibe of things that we're looking for. Like, what do you want to showcase within yourself and your skill set that's going to be what sets you apart for that next opportunity?
Absolutely. And then for anything else, that another just idea, if you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable about sharing about yourself or bragging on yourself, if you are somebody who coaches people, who helps other people in any way, and it would be like, my work got them here. We're not going to say that, but it's more like, I want to brag on this person. I am this person
Yeah.
to them, and they just had this huge accomplishment. I think that it does two things. It shows that you know how to help people, which is fantastic, but it also shows that you are proud of them, that you support your people, that you are
And
doing,
just invested.
yeah, that you're invested. And I think that at the end of the day, that post benefits the person that you posted about the most, but you still look good in it. So think about it. Just think about those things, because I know that there's going to be people who are like, I can't be doing this, but and it doesn't mean that you have to be making TikToks and doing things like that. But on LinkedIn, a picture and a caption goes a long way, because they will be looking you up on LinkedIn if you're looking for another job, even if that doesn't show up on Google, which it
Yeah,
does.
it
LinkedIn
does
is
show
very,
up, but
yeah, it's very helpful. But yeah, the LinkedIn, you don't have to. I like it so much because when I put stuff on there, I don't have to think about, oh, is somebody going to judge me? Because everyone's looking at Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and I feel like I'm speaking to a whole different group, I guess.
yeah,
On LinkedIn, it feels a little bit insulated without the potential haters, I
yeah.
guess.
You
So
do typically have less haters in that world, or at least those haters are not as vocal.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe that's it. Something that I don't think that we've discussed yet that I think is really, really important is if you are sitting on the cusp of like needing a potential change, really looking at how you show up in your, we'll call it your end days in your current role. It could be the last 6 months, it could be the last year, but leaving your current role in a really great standing and cultivating the legacy that you want to leave behind, what you want to be remembered by with those people, can be so strategically helpful moving into your next chapter. I just think that leaving gracefully really matters. And those people that you worked with, it could have been a year, it could be 20 years. Like that part kind of really doesn't matter, because your network of people is really the culmination of your net worth, right? Like, especially if you're going to go start a business or you're, going out on something new, you want those people to be in your corner and be cheerleaders for you and your success moving forward, rather than being like, oh my God, I'm so glad she's gone. It's been so hard to work with her for the last 6 months because she's wanted to leave this whole time.
yeah. Don't be a negative Nancy at the end. Then
Yeah.
it almost erases a whole career worth of for me, like I worked my whole career before I came over to do my own thing. And if I would have totally burned it down, I mean, that's my entire career of people who are like, I'm not
Yeah.
into that.
Like all of my success came from here. So if I burn it down for them, I burned down my whole resume. That would
Well,
be so
and
dumb.
when you're starting off somewhere else or on your own, you're truly on your own unless you have that network of people who you worked with forever, or you've built one outside of that job, which we will talk about that as well. But I would have felt so alone starting. I mean, because it's lonely starting a business, especially if you do it by yourself. And I wasn't using everybody to be my sounding board or to help talk me off a ledge when I had the most severe imposter syndrome. But I needed a certain amount of people to get me through that.
Yeah, a little validation goes a
Hmm.
long, long way in those moments.
Yeah, and I do believe that leaving, you and I both did it, but leaving the right way with plenty of notice and really setting them up for success, training people if they needed us to, just having everything so that there was no way there would come a day where they're like, she's the only person who knows this, and she's gone.
Right. And now she's gone and we're screwed. Yeah.
And even if you did it the right way, that sucks because now they could get very frustrated very
Yeah.
quickly that you abandoned them.
I knew long before I left that I needed to leave. And I know that against everything in me and my desire to continue to show up and do a really great job, I know that my performance was impacted. Not in a great way, but I was struggling to like, and I say struggling, like really fighting to show up and put my best foot forward. And then when I knew I was leaving, that's where it really kind of like kicked into high gear for me. It was like this is it. This is what they're going to remember. If it's a shit show after I'm gone because of a mess that I leave behind, I will have undone any incredible work that I did over the last 20 years. And that is not the taste in anyone's mouth that I want to leave.
Mm-mm.
So, to your point, long notice, wrap everything up with a pretty red bow. Make sure that you're not leaving things undone or unfinished or not passed on to the next person so that something falls through the cracks. So that they're not like pissed at you after you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will say,
Yeah.
moving into this role with you, we've had countless people from our past reach out, whether it was, you know, hey, I'm doing this thing on the side. Can you help me with this project that you're an expert at, and when you worked for me you would have been doing this for me anyway, kind of thing. Or potential new clients, or maybe somebody that might want to work with us in the future. I mean, we've had several
Mm-hmm.
situations where it's like, I'm just really glad to still know these people
Mm-hmm.
and still be in their corner and want success for them and feel that in return too.
Yeah. Well, and there are so many people throughout the years who I've called to ask for advice. There are people who I have called to say, hey, we used this system. I don't remember what it was called. Can you help me with that? And now I'm able to use that system for my
In another
business.
way, yeah.
Or I met somebody because something that is important to me for my business is my network. And when I meet somebody, I like to connect them to the person that they are trying to meet, because when you give, they think of you and they give back, and they might send me somebody that is looking for something that I do. So I have sent several people to Roadhouse, whether it's for fundraisers at a local restaurant or the marketing department for a national partnership of some sort.
Yeah. Co-branded
And
gift cards.
yeah, so many.
Yeah.
And I think that I could have just turned my back on it, but I'm still a part of my community. Last week, we
Yeah.
hosted a fundraiser for Brody's swim team at the Roadhouse in O'Fallon. And it was fun to plan that with them. And it was fun to, they don't have reservations at Texas
Hmm.
Roadhouse, as people know. But whenever you know how the system works and you know the people there, and you say, the team wants to all sit together. Can they sit in the bump out? Can
Yeah.
you make sure that the bump out is all available at 5:30? And they say, we can make that happen for you. I'm glad that we could make that happen, because it would have been messy because the kids, want to sit together and the parents want to sit with other specific parents, maybe because of different friendships. And it was just nice that we were all in one section. We had a couple of servers. They put everything on one of the servers, and they made sure that they could, no one needs the deep dive into
All
how
the
well they
details,
made
but
that work. Yeah,
yeah,
but it was
they
so
simplified
nice.
it.
Yeah, it was so nice that because I still have the relationships that I have at the local restaurants, I also have a relationship with the owner at one of them that I'm trying to get Dan's niece, I guess my niece now too, a job at that one. And it's just nice to still have those contacts for the things that I need, and the people that I know that need something, and what they have. I talk to my network about co-branded gift cards sometimes because they are awesome when you
Because
need
we were
something like
actually
that.
selling something we believed in. It was a
Yeah.
valuable marketing strategy, not just for Texas Roadhouse, but for other
Hmm.
companies as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I just
either way.
think, yeah, I just think it's really important that it's the way you close one chapter sets the tone for the next one that you're opening. And if you're not really careful, if you go out with guns blazing and you do burn it down, then you have to rebuild from kind of nothing in starting your next one, and you have nothing to like refer back to. And a lot of people don't burn it completely down, but we have seen in scenarios where no, not necessarily like getting online and trash talking or whatever, but going wild in an exit interview and things that are emotionally charged, like that's the last taste in the mouths of people who will be the next person that will
Who'll
have
be
to give
your
a reference on
reference?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a little bit scary. So I would say, even if you are a little butthurt, a little bitter about the way things are going and the way that you want to leave, you have to rise above it from an emotional maturity standpoint, or it's going to wind up biting you a little bit, and you're in the driver's seat of that. So do you want to clean up the mess that you make after you've started the fire, or do you want to just avoid it altogether and hold on to the pieces that are left that really were good?
And
Keep that reference
obviously,
intact.
we've talked a lot on this about what to do, but refer back to our episode about what not to do on the internet, because potential employers are looking at that, potential clients are looking at that. Don't be a shitbag and it'll be fine. But you're right, you have to avoid the burn at the end
Mm-hmm.
and showing all of your cards, because it might give you closure, but it also might have negative effects.
Yeah.
But also, you said even if you're not burning it down on the internet, do not burn it down on the internet.
Yeah.
Do not. And the reason that I say this is I am a firm advocate for sometimes you have to burn it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there is a time and a place for burning it down in lots of different scenarios. But you are the only one who looks like the asshole when you talk shit about your job
On the internet.
on the internet. So just don't do it. It doesn't hurt them. I mean, this person, I saw a video the other day, and it wasn't about her losing a job, but Southwest Airlines peed in her guitar case and won't give her any compensation for somebody at Southwest peed in
Someone
her guitar.
peed in her guitar case. That's a
Yeah,
dick
and it
move.
didn't come down with the regular
Luggage. Yeah.
luggage. And then several days later, she gets it back, and they're kind of like brushing it under the rug. They're not taking care of it. She is not going to take down Southwest Airlines by sharing this, even if she has millions of views. So, do you think you can take down your corporation or your job by having a negative thing to say? No, you can't. And you just look like a jerk, and no one wants to take that risk on you, because if they do something a little wrong, you might do the same to them. Just
But
don't do that.
even like, let's say you could take them down. What do you stand to gain?
Yeah.
Like, what do you stand to gain? You have a lot more to lose in your future than you do to gain by outing them on whatever it is.
Yeah. I completely
Yeah,
agree.
I don't find that to be very, very
Something that is a big part of your personal brand too is to build your network. We've talked about it a couple times with that your previous employers and the people that you worked with are your network. But you can also be building a network for the personal brand that you are building, to be the person that you want to be in that next job. I was a marketing coach, and I worked for the marketing department at a corporation. So much of what I wanted to do for my business really, I mean, it all had to do with marketing, but it was very different. There wasn't going to be anybody who I could send them to and say, talk to them, because I never made websites for my corporate job. I never edited podcasts. I never designed, I mean, I did design stuff, but like not on a professional basis. But we do all of that for our business. And I think that I needed to get out there and make myself the expert at those things in people's eyes, so that they wanted to refer people to me. And I think the same that can be said when you're looking for another job. So do your best to get out there, go to some happy hours, go to, volunteer places, just meet people, be a part of your community, and you will meet new people that will position you where you need to be for that next job or to start your own business or the next place that you want to be. I obviously didn't start that until probably about 6 months before I quit my job. I started to network just a little bit.
Hmm.
And I can't tell you how, when you start to make relationships with people, they want to help you. It is not your friends and your family who are going to build your business with you. It is the people, your network. It's going to be those
Yeah.
people because two things. They want to help build other people up. That's part of their reason for being out networking. And the other thing is that they know that when they give to you, you are more likely to give back to them for their business.
'Cause that's how
So
networking works.
yeah, I built this entire business through networking. There's been a few clients that came from social media or from classes that I hosted, which is also a good way to build a network and position yourself as an expert at whatever you're trying to do next, is to give away, teach classes, show people how to do things. You can, we talked about kind of talking about yourself on social media and what you're doing for your job right now. But you could, if you're going into, you want to get a position as a videographer for a big corporation who does a lot of promotional video, it's like educate people on what they need in their promotional videos. Show your work, show what you're doing, not just at work, but yourself. All of these things work to build your personal brand.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Like knowing what you have to offer and giving before you expect to receive, I think is a big takeaway there. But like, let's think about this though. Like when you're preparing your brand for what's next, and you're sitting in this spot right now, like I'm still in my current role, and I'm trying to dream up what that next adventure looks like and how I can set myself up to step into that new chapter in a really positive way. Obviously, we've talked about how you leave behind the other one, what questions you ask to really set yourself up. But, overall, I think it starts with that audit, right? Take a look. And when I say audit, I don't even mean just digital, right? Take a look at what your reputation looks like within your current work circle. What are you showcasing? What does your life look like on the personal side? And then what of all of those things is reflected on the internet that, the next employer is going to find, or maybe the clients that you want to work with at a business that you start on your own, what are they going to find about you and what is that going to say for you? Make sure that all your bios are updated and refresh your profiles. Maybe you're tagged in some unflattering photos that you need to undo that tag, and really start building that network intentionally. I think that you could probably very easily spend 6 months to a year, what's the word, curating what you really want your brand to look and feel like when you say, okay, I'm going to pivot into my next move. And I think that's a big part of it too, like controlling the narrative about what you're doing and why you're doing it. The last thing that you want is to leave people in the community or in that network guessing at like, oh, what happened? Why is she leaving? Like, can you stay in control of the narrative about what you're running to and why as a really great thing for you in your life and your future? Or is it going to be the shitty job that you're leaving and why? Like, are you going to make this a positive experience in other people's eyes, or are we going to make it one that they're like, oh,
Yeah,
because it says a
use your
lot more
PR.
about you?
Yeah, use your PR skills here and have a amicable celebrity breakup with that
Yes.
business. Do not be, don't
That's a
end
really
up.
great way to put it, for
I
sure.
mean, Brianna Chicken Fry, she totally maimed freaking Zach Bryan, and that didn't have to happen, right?
No.
Get ahead of that. He could have gotten ahead of that, and he did not. He could have done it the right way, and you need to do the same thing with your business moves, whatever they are. Don't let somebody else take over that narrative.
Yeah, I think that's really smart. And then the last thing that I will leave on that particular topic, though, is the emotional aspect. If you think for a half a second that you are fixing to walk away from your corporate identity and it not be full on identity work. Like, it is personal and professional, because those things become kind of who you are. And so being ready for the emotional whiplash of what comes next if I leave these pieces of myself behind, or how do I carry these pieces of myself into the future in a way that is positive and growing versus pruning things that I would like to leave behind. But be ready for the emotional work, because there's a lot of it there.
I love that. I love that. Well, so things to just to wrap up this
Yeah.
conversation. Google yourself, look at your social media profiles, and see if your bio is still there from when you started your Facebook page in 2009. Like, I don't really mess with my personal Facebook page,
Yeah.
right? It's just not something.
But it's
It's
public. They will look.
yes. And if you started I don't even think you could get into MySpace, but like it's still on the internet. But if you have a Pinterest where all you did was pin, I don't know, weird shit, like, do these things need to exist in the world?
Right. Yeah, just
Get rid
clean it
of,
up.
yeah, yeah, get rid of it. I can't. Let's take out the Pinterest thing. If you have an X or Twitter, I'm always going to call it Twitter, but if you have a Twitter account and it looks like Travis Kelce's Twitter account from 2014, where it's just the most random thoughts, like, really go through. I'm not saying to delete your past, because if you are proud of that and you don't care that you said that weird thing, then please,
Great.
if that's on brand for you. But if there is anything hateful, take it out. If there is anything that's really off brand, take it out. If you ever had a passive aggressive incident with an ex on social media, take it out. There's
Those
just
probably
no
gotta
reason.
go.
I mean, hopefully you aren't doing that anyway. But it's not just, they will look you up on LinkedIn, but they're going to look you up on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and
If
X
they're
and
smart,
everywhere else.
honestly.
Yeah. So just make sure that they are all up to date and really fresh and shiny and new, because we really should be updating those as our life changes. And if you want to be known as a mom, but you can't show that, that, because you don't want to put pictures of your kids online, that's absolutely fine. But it needs to be in your bio somewhere that you're a mom of two beautiful children and they're your whole world. So you can find ways around all of it, but clean it up. Make sure that it's great.
Yeah, moral of the story here, though, is if you're planning to leave the job, you should also plan to launch a brand, because you have to sell yourself for whatever comes next, whether that's starting your own business and selling yourself to your entire community of potential clients, or selling yourself to the next corporation that you go and work for. So
It's
slow down
harder
and be
than ever.
strategic.
Yes, it's harder
Yep.
than ever right now. And we'll have somebody on next month. We have someone scheduled to help with that resume situation, and because we know that it's impossible. So if they finally look at your resume, they need to be able to see the best side of you.
Yep. Well, this is a really great conversation. A bunch of advice that I wish I had taken myself years ago,
If we'd
but
only
at the
known,
same time,
right?
yeah.
We're
Well,
learning as we go.
sometimes you don't know where life's going to take you until you're just like getting through it. And I will tell
Yep.
you, even if you take none of the advice that you heard today, like, put one foot in front of the other. Like, not doing anything at all to, like, fix your scenario is worse than doing it all wrong. Do something, but if you want to get really strategic about it and make it a pleasant experience for the people that you're leaving behind, and the exciting for the potential people that you work with in the future, I think there's a few good tips there that will help you just to be confident and proud into your next move.
Agreed. Well, thank you for having this
All right.
conversation with me. This was a fun one.
Yeah, I
All
like it.
right.
We'll talk to you
We'll
next
see you
week.
all next week. Bye.
Bye.